everyone. Welcome to week 3 of The Artist Way with Julia Cameron. This week has been a little bit difficult in terms of just keeping, in the flow of things. I felt resistant to a couple of moments where I didn't want to do the morning pages. I felt like, you know, I just felt resistant. It wasn't surprising. I felt resistant to my spiritual practice, which means just pulling an inspirational card to set the energy for the day, to give me something to focus on. I didn't want to do that this morning, but I still did it anyway. So Julia says that we can write through any feeling, and I believe that she's correct. However, there's probably some exceptions to this, right? If you're really sick or you have a flu, I wouldn't push your body any more than it can go. I don't think that's healthy. But if you're struggling through feelings of like sorrow and second guessing yourself, as we know, that could be a very self sabotaging behavior, we can push through it. Um, it hasn't been an easy week. This is also the week that I realized I studied the wrong program in college. Oh no, what do I do? Well, the first thing I did, I just acknowledged it. I let myself cry. Um, some of you may know this already, but I studied journalism for 4 years. And, I felt like, okay, this is a writing program. I'm going to enjoy this. Well, journalism is a lot different than what you'd expect, right? It's not really a creative writing situation. There are some written pieces that you can have a creative liberty on, but the majority of journalism is getting the facts right, interviewing the right people, having your sources correct, what they say correct. There's a lot of legal implications with that. For me, I figured that I want to try reviewing video games and books on this channel. That's what I want to do. I'm gonna work hard and do that because I think that is the creative spirit that I want to take with my writing. But the journalism stuff, in terms of doing interviews, I don't think I have the energy or the drive to do that anymore. I don't know. I did interviews for over a decade, and I did enjoy them for what they were worth at the time because it made me feel alive and excited. But then as I got further into the journalism side of things outside of school, it became a lot harder because I do have a physical disability, so I may not be able to get a lot out of my journalism uh, education. So I've had to pivot a couple of times, but I realized that I'm not happy in this career path in terms of the traditional sense. I want to write children's books. I want to write reviews, and that's what I want to do. I realized that through some deep reflection that, yeah, the journalism program did not make me happy. But I guess at the time when I applied to it, I remember I was only 18 years old, and already burned out from school at that point. And the option of me deferring my education for about a year or two wasn't allowed. I had spoke to my parent about this. I said, I maybe we can hold off a year, and she felt that if I held off a year I wouldn't want to go back. But we are so burned out, especially, you're graduating from high school. You spent 4 years in high school, then you're going to go to college right away. Oh boy. I even talked about this with a career counselor maybe about a year or two ago, that this is what I was feeling, and I was just so burned out. And if I had a lot more information like I do now, maybe I wouldn't have chosen the career path of journalism, but I would choose a different writing path. So I know there's a pathway for me. I just have to find out what that is. But I want to thank the Artist Way for making that clear to me that I have to admit that I'm not really happy with the career path that I, set myself up for. And I just want to do other things with the writing, more creative things with the writing. because it fuels me. The creativity makes me feel happy and alive. Um, the traditional journalism does not, and that was really heartbreaking to realize that you put in a lot of time and money, and you're not getting a good return from it because your energy is not there for it. It may have been when I first started out and started, interviewing people in the video game industry. But as I grow and change, my desire or of career prospects are going to change as well. So I'm looking forward to the future. I, it's just a big whirlwind. So for next week is the media deprivation week. The reason why I'm going to approach it as like a media deprivation week is because, well, the Artist Way was written 25 years ago. So back then, we weren't bombarded too much with the media back then. When it came out in 1992, I was only 3 years old. I just remember the television. I didn't have a computer or the internet. I grew up in a different, generation where I wasn't bombarded with all this media and technology until my early preteens and teenage years. That's when we start to see the big boom of social media. And Facebook came into play in 2007. I was just about to graduate from high school at that time. So it's a very different time now, and we are always, bombarded with news articles and different things that we want to consume. We're scrolling, So a few rules for myself for the week, for next week is no Reddit, no YouTube, no video games, no books beside the drawing books that I have out because I need some activities to do. Um, no text messages, but I will accept actual phone calls because I have loved ones that I do talk to every day, and a Skype call, at the end of the day. So I'm going to do that. And emailing is going to be minimal. I may have to check that occasionally just to be responsible in my own life because I've got obligations there. But that's pretty much it. I don't know how this is going to go, but I might have to tune in to how I was when I was a child. I didn't have media. I did have books, but I didn't have internet. My mom and I were living in this house. Um, when I was a small child, we were living in a childhood house, and all I had was a tea set and a bookshelf with full of books. That was it. I didn't have video games. My brothers did, but I did not. I didn't grow up with the video game in the sense that I have video games in my life now. So this is going to be really interesting. It's a really interesting experiment. But so far, as hard as the Artist Way is, it's beneficial, and I'm looking forward to the future ahead. So that's it from me. Everybody take care and stay safe wherever you are in the world. And I will either record another video Friday afternoon or Saturday. So take care. Bye bye.